All right. Hey, Tsukaboo, hi! Let me know if you can hear me and see. I've been good. How have you been recovering? Actually, I hope this sound is not too annoying. It's probably gonna happen a bit. Hey, Mikey! Oh no! In the hospital again! Ay, ay. Today's a good day. That's great! Ouch. Honestly, I love that song. Okay, I'm just worried that it's perhaps a bit loud or... Oh wow, okay. I was wondering what will be the difference between yellow ochre and raw sienna in these inks. Because in terms of watercolor, they're actually quite similar. But you can see just the dots of ink are actually super different already. The swatch will be the real test, but you know. Melissa, hi! It's funny, I used to hate yellow ochre, but it's grown on me. I love yellow ochre. It's a beautiful, natural looking yellow. Hi, Charlotte! How is everyone today? I had a bit of a headache earlier, but it has faded a lot. I think having some coffee has helped. Hey, Paulo! I'm having a lot of trouble breathing. They're doing a lot of treatments, so today isn't the worst day I've had all week here, and it's not the best day either, but I'm okay. That's I mean, we'll take the wins we can get, right? That's so acidic bright. Next one is greenish yellow. And this one is... oh, okay. PY129 and PY154. Hey, Melissa and Cleo. Hi, guys. Hello. I had a bunch of tea and broth for lunch. Ooh. Hey, Melissa. Having tea is you know, kind of always a kind of a silver lining to anything. If you can have tea, that's always like a... Oh, come on. Ew, why are you making such a mess? No... Blop. It made such a mess, that one. Gonna get all of these out so it's easier to track what I've swatched and what I haven't swatched. I kind of really like hospital broth. What's special about it? Do the Albine acrylic inks have any weird smells? I tried the heavy body acrylics and this stunk something fierce like moldy milk. Ew. So far I haven't noticed anything. Hold on. I'll try not to put any ink on my nose. I'm not picking up much of a scent or smell either way. Oh, sorry, I was trying to figure out where to go from here. Just gonna try to organize these a bit. Or at least make sure I can see all the color names. Oops. Okay. There's a few colors from the inks line that I've really been eyeing up for my Xmas list this year to add to my range. They have really interesting colors, and most of them will actually use pigments and not dyes, or they will use possibly more light fast pigments. Yeah, they might separate a bit, but that's why you have this lovely sound here. There's a, I think, ceramic ball in the bottles to shake them up properly. I saw one of my favorite artists experiment with these. And also I have a light weakness for anything made by Holbein. Yes, these are Holbein acrylic inks. You can see acrylic ink. Like, not all acrylic inks are made equal, and some, as far as I can tell, they really go for more transparent and smooth version of colors, so they will use whatever pigments will not have granulation, or like, even if they are less light fast. I don't know why the assumption is made that for inks it's okay to have not light fast pigments. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but Holbein was like, meh, why make something like that, I guess. I'm assuming. And I respect that. Not my thing. Not your thing, what? I only have Liquitex and some Sennelier acrylic ink so far, so I think the Holbein ones Well, I mean, it's a great add-in if you use them. There's really no point in you know, getting them if you don't really use acrylic inks all that much. And I don't particularly use them right now, but as acrylic inks are are waterproof. Like I've wanted to experiment with acrylic inks for a while, but the brands I've tried didn't really work for me. I did try Liquitex. I don't know how you say that. Liquitex. I'll say it in French. I did try Magic Color. And I just couldn't really... Oh, I tried Delarani too. And it just didn't really vibe with me. First of all, I didn't like the range of... Like, I would look at the whole range of colors they offered, and nothing would really jump at me like, oh, this is a gorgeous color, I need this. And then I was also really bothered that they're all super smooth with no texture. And since Holbein uses a variety of actual pigments instead of, you know, lesser known pigments or dyes, some of the inks will granulate. And I didn't know that. I think Golden has a couple of cobalt-based inks that will also granulate, but they don't really have a lot of them. Yeah, Holbein's yellow ochre is super gorgeous. I'm the happy owner of a 60 milliliter tube of that particular yellow ochre, and it makes me happy. Oh, sorry. Sorry to be fully Canadian. So this is Shadow Green. This is basically their Perylene Green. It's Perylene Green. It's a black pigment. Go figure. The paper I'm using is a sheet of Stonehenge Aqua in cold press. It's one of the few papers I know that you can use on both sides and there's not a significant difference of texture, which is great. Oh, that's such a pretty color. Yellow ochre. Well, that's a... I've seen that spelling for... I get all choked up. I did that with my Quinn Rose from M. Graham Heavy Body Acrylics. I got a big boy tube of that because it mixes gorgeous pinks. Yeah, Quinn Rose is a good magenta color. So where do I go from here? I'll go with blue. This is Indanthrene Blue. And PB60. Good job. Holbein's Sap Green is always such a pretty color. I hope it's... Yeah, it's in frame. It's this one here. And it's gorgeous in watercolor. It's beautiful in inks. Such a rich, vibrant, but natural looking green, in my opinion. Oh no. It's another one of those super messy ones. That's the one criticism I've seen of these bottles, is that the caps are not that great. like the plastic hinge will sort of break easily. And now apparently they also are quite prone to being messy. The only color they don't seem to have in the inks range is the indigo. I'm kind of bummed. I might have to look into their the fluid, because the sort of the viscosities, they go. You have ink, then you have fluid. And then you have like all the bodies of acrylic. I know there's a heavy body, there's probably just a regular one. But yeah, so Perylene Maroon with its skull on it. They didn't have Perylene Maroon in the inks, so I got it in fluid, but I need to check if they have indigo in the fluid too. Contains isopropyl alcohol. Ooh. Ooh. Regarding watercolor, is there a Prussian blue that doesn't change color in the sun and out? If there is one, it's not going to be genuine Prussian blue, because like Paolo said, it's the pigment. So if it uses the Prussian blue pigment, it's not going to be light fast. Same for neon colors. Like I sometimes get messages like, oh, is there a neon pink that is light fast? And I'm like, no. Or any neon color, like whether it's pink, orange, yellow, green, whatever. This one is ultramarine blue. Am I gonna stop making noises? Nah. Nah. You guys know me better than that. So I've tried using these inks on like putting the drops on a ceramic plate, and I hated it. As the ink dries, like it will dry on the edges if it's thinner. And when you go with your brush to pick up some ink, it will lift up this dry plastic pellicule. Anyway, so you end up with chunks of dry paint in your ink, and it's just gross. It looked awful, so I've been using these disposable palettes. This is good. Hey, Barbara! Hello! I love neon pink regardless. Oh, same. So hue's the only choice. They're not the same. No, they're not the same, but if you gotta decide what you prioritize. The light fastness or the hue. Well, yeah, I'm in team. I don't really care about light fastness. It's not the most popular opinion, but it's just so not productive in my opinion. Besides, as if anyone is gonna have something I painted on their walls in the bright sun for more than a couple of years. Like, really? Like, no, we're not Picasso. Picasso. And even then, the old masters, they didn't care. That was all they had. Like Prussian blue, Aurelian, and rose madder, and sap green, and all these plant-based colors that were absolutely not light fast. I have burnt umber here, which is BBR7. My favorite version of it. I'm trying to make the swatches juicy enough so that I can see if paint has some granulation to it. I know the blue has some, I don't know if it will show well, but if I'm painting pink quartz crystals, sometimes I had some neon pink for that extra glow. It's a really beautiful color to include in sunset or sunrise paintings, to capture that kind of glow that we perceive when looking at a sunset or a sunrise. The sunrise here today had pink in it and it was gorgeous. The sunset yesterday had pink in it and it was so pretty. I mean, if you sort of really extract the actual color of the sky, it's probably not that bright, but in relation with the other colors around it and all that, it looked so punchy and bright. So that's definitely something I would put some neon paint in there just to replicate that feeling. It would be so sad to see something on my wall change colors. I don't really mind. I accept that it's the nature of things and that, like us, art is changing. It doesn't really exist in a vacuum, so... And then we have burnt sienna. I think this burnt sienna is a bit weird in its... Well, that's... Nice job writing that. Oh, it's PBR7! Haha, nice. Nice! The one color of ink that I have that I was just a little bit disappointed, but at the same time not, you'll see, is the raw umber, because I really like raw umber as a watercolor in the Holbein range, but their raw umber ink is not the same pigment composition, I think. Sorry not to participate. I'm really... Oh no! But I'm not against stuff. How have you been, Cleo? It's such a beautiful color. Did you get red orange inks? I have Quinn Gold. And I might have some in the other stuff that I have here that is not swatched yet. Because I have a couple of golden ones too. Some of the golden ones are so old. Easter chocolate! I might still be recovering from minor surgery 3 weeks ago. I'll blame that for everything. Are you recovering well? Okay, so the raw umber is... check that out. It's PY42, so yellow ochre pigment. PR101. Oops. So that's red iron oxide. And then PBK11. Which is Mars Black. And it separates in such a weird, cool way. I hope I'll be able to show it. Ow. Just curious because it seemed like something was missing on that swatching page. Yeah, as you can see, I have quite a few yellows and I have quite a few reds coming. So they don't have, I think in the ink range, they don't have a lot of oranges available, like pre-mixed or single pigment. So I I thought I would stock up on enough yellows, like enough different yellows and enough different reds so that I can mix my own oranges. That's so funny, Mikey. That a reason for me to not like. Well, you can mix your own orange, I mean. Why are you so not in favor of inks? Okay, let's try to really get this one to separate because it's really cool. Like mixed like that, the hue is right. The hue is perhaps a bit not as greenish as their raw umber watercolor is, maybe. But with enough water, it will separate into a sort of darker, more muted, heavy texture, and the areas with the water will have that reddish hue in them, like a bit like the burnt sienna. I would show you, but it's on the other side of this paper. So, all right, I have 4 left. How do I want to go about these? I'll start with this one. This is Imidazolone Brown, PBR 25. I don't know why they call it brown. It's more of a reddish color, but no. I used to only like ivory black, but since I've experimented with Schmincke's Mars Black, yeah, the texture is really fun in Mars Black. Or I never thought about trying them because they do seem more messy. Watercolors are more than enough for someone like me. Yeah, but it really depends on what kind of effect you like. The way my brain sees it, the main interest of the inks is that they are not rewettable. They are mostly translucent and you can sort of use them like watercolor. And if you dilute them extensively, you can even use this colorless medium if you are afraid that the binder is gonna be stretched too thin. And the fun of it is that you can layer a lot and it's never gonna re-wet what's under it. Oh, the separation is happening. It's happening. The artist I've seen use these. Yes, you can paint over. That's what I was leading to. The artist I've seen use these, they use the inks as a basis to paint on top of them. If you use the inks super strong, like undiluted, it might be difficult to put watercolor on it because acrylic is plastic based, the polymer. The binder is a polymer, so it's plastic and it's I don't know what I'm talking about. Basically, it dries plasticky. So it will make the surface of your paper waterproof. So if you paint with watercolor on top of it, might be difficult. But if you dilute the ink, you can paint over it with watercolor. Oh, hey, thank you so much for stopping by, Melissa. Have a great weekend. And yeah, the like I said, the artist who was testing these has found that it's a good base layer because you can work on top of it and it won't get all muddy and smudged. Imidazolone. PBR 25. It's a really nice sort of muted reddish brown, maybe. Hey, Lana! Hi! Also, I really think I have more than enough art supplies. Oh, that's fine. We adopted 2 one-year-old kittens from one of the rescue places. What? Babies! Have you posted photos of them anywhere? Today? Ah, that's so cool! Yay! Hi, babies! Not yet. Oh! Oh, thank you so much, Lana. Kitties! My 2 old ladies are sleeping. Because what else? What else do you do when you're a senior cat, right? So my Perylene Maroon is not ink. It's a bit thicker, so I kind of have to mix it a bit more on the palette. Like all the other ones, I could just dip my brush in and plop it on the page. But for this one, I kind of like to mix it a bit so it's easier to put on paper. Things passed. Yeah, I saw that. I'm so sorry for your loss, Barbara. I feel like it's a good idea, or I don't know how to say it, but for some people, I think it works great to combine the grief with something more joyful, like having new kittens in the place, so that yes, you're still grieving, but at least there's always a bit of like a cat that you can hug still, and that will do some funny things like they all do, and that will sort of cheer up the mood. Like some people prefer to experience the grieving full on, but I'm not sure it would work for me. I think I would much prefer to have something to help me feel a bit better, and cats are really good for that. Well, I'm glad you found two babies that needed a home. Something that needs you can really help. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't. I'm not. I don't know. I don't necessarily see it as them needing me. I think it's more like I need them. and in a way, like young cats are so wild, and you don't really know their personalities yet when they just came in. So that's something to discover and to sort of make the days feel a bit less heavy. You know, it's more lighthearted to have silly kittens around. They both crawled under the covers with us and started purring last night. Oh my gosh, already! Ah, that's so sweet! Oh, they're good beans! I don't know them, but I already love them. Good babies. I think it can be a comfort for some to be able to give another little one all the love you got from your other kitty. Yeah, I agree. They're so sweet. Are they like siblings or just a bonded pair? My cats are siblings and they can't stand each other, so that's not necessarily an indication of anything, but you know. We're still thinking of names. Bonded but nearly the same age. Oh, that's perfect. And yeah, names often like reveal themselves as you get to know the cats. It reminds me of Linus. He went through quite a few names before it became really clear that this cat is a Linus. Oh, that's so pretty. Look at that quinacridone gold hue, of course. I kind of prefer the hues to the original color, I gotta say. It's such a fun color that goes from a, you know, deep orange color to a yellowy color. Only 5 days or a week apart in age. Oh, that's insignificant in the grand scope of things. What do they look like? Are they like the same gender? I like the hues too. They are glowing so nicely. I agree. Absolutely agree. I think it's because they always kind of have the PY150 in there, which is a color that is so stupidly bright. And it's a bit of a bummer because it uses P048 and that's being phased out. But I'm pretty sure they will be able to get something just as pretty with either PBR25 or PR179. I mean, we've already lost Quinn Gold, so... The last ink I have here is Quinacridone Red. The girl is a calico! What? No way! I love her so much already. The little boy is black. Oh my gosh. They both have pretty green gold eyes. Ah, kitties! Oh, that's so sweet. Hey, box of paint. Hello. Oh, the girl is a calico. I think my favorite thing with calicos is that you don't have two that are the same. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the same with tabbies, but it's harder to tell with tabbies because my brain cannot keep track of like the stripes and the patterns and all that. But with a calico, it's kind of easier since you sometimes have, you know, like shapes in the patterns or a specific like area that looks like something. Or the cat dude Jackson Galaxy. Point blank guitar case dude. Did a tortilla? Ooh, he did. I'm gonna have to check that up. Also had a calico growing up and she was a total boss girl. I wondered how calico attitude ranks when compared to tortoise shell attitude. Like, is it pretty much the same, or... I always make the same stupid, not funny joke when I talk about torties, that you can't spell torticoli without dirty in it. And I don't know if it's a word that exists in English, but a torticoli is basically a neck pain. When you creak your neck, like you sleep wrong on it and it's kind of stuck like that. Like the muscle is all cramped up. Things was a tabby. An easy way to determine a tabby is that the markings on their head make a little M shape. Yeah, I know, but it's like it's so detailed, the general tabby, that like whenever I draw Peko, I've had Pico for 12 years and I still cannot remember exactly how our patterns go. Because like my brain doesn't keep track of it well. And mind you, same with Scout, because she's just a mix of color, but she has a orange patch on her head, so that's kind of easier to remember. So with the Calico, I like that you can kind of easily map out their spots in your head, and it's easier to remember. Like you can, okay, there's a, like Emmy, Box of Paint has a Calico, and she has a patch on her back that look like a hamburger. So you can go, oh yeah, the Calico with the hamburger. So that's kind of a trick. Whereas like with Torty or Tabby, I'm like, the splotches, the stripes. Oh, that's such a nice PV19. Look at that. It's the perfect hue. It's just spot on. Alright, so that's basically all the Holbein ones except white and black, but you know. I have a bunch of the these are older, but a lot of the golden high flow, which are basically the same idea. But these are like made more to be smooth and nice. For example, their teal is a mix and it's not granulating at all, which is a bit of a bummer. And this one I want to try from them. It's cobalt turquoise, but it's made from genuine turquoise, genuine cobalt, sorry. So it should granulate. My Calico girl had white marks on her feet, like white boots on their bootsy. Aww. I think some social media phobia stuffs. Oh no! Oh, yeah, that reminds me, but at the same time, I was trying to remember Box of Paint. When was the last time I sent you a Patreon reward? Because I can't remember if like, what was the last one I've mailed. And I'm trying to catch up, and like my brain is just not helping. Oh, that's not cool. Ah, yeah, I did it. I have to have Emmy in front of me when I do a little character, because the only marking I ever get right from memory is her burger. I love it so much that she has a burger shape on her. That's so funny. Oh. So yeah, so this cobalt one, I didn't do it on purpose, but I got it in the fluid instead of the high flow. But I'm confident that diluted just a bit, I can get it to be just like the high flow, but with that granulation coming in. And I have other colors from Golden, but they're all super smooth. like quinacridone crimson, quinacridone burnt orange, which are both, oh no, okay, they both have PR 206 in them. And then what else? Like phthalo turquoise, permanent violet dark, sap green hue, but their sap green is just not as pretty as the Holbein one. Quinacridone slash nickel azo gold. Payne's Gray. I think the Payne's Gray separates a bit because it has PB29 in it and PBK7. But it's not super duper great. Speaking of our beloved quinacridone gold, did you know the largest purchaser of pigments isn't artists or paint manufacturers? It's the automobile industry and the people who make mulch for gardening. I knew about the automobile industry, I didn't know about mulch though. That's kind of funny. And yeah, we are subservient to the automobile industry for the pigments, which is why when colors go out of style, we lose them in paints as well. Oh, Tsukaboo. I had a tabby growing up who looked like pulled butterscotch taffy, so we named him Scotty. Short for butterscotch. His other nickname was Fat Boy because of how big he got. Aww. We had a gray and white short hair named Lily. The gray fur on her head was perfectly in the same shape as the character on the Pringles potato chips packaging. She had the Pringles hair too. I like that. Okay. It was funny. Oh, I love the two new little buddies though. That's so heartwarming. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can see how the raw umber has split into such a nice texture. Like, it reminds me a bit of the effect you get from some Primatic colors where there's a general hue in the whole area, which would be the more red brown tint in here, and then the granulation itself, which is darker and more muted, and I think it looks awesome. I don't know if I can flip my page. Oh yeah. So these are the previous tests I did. I did a couple of mixes too, but you can see just how heavy this separation is. The chromium oxide green also has a nice texture, which I'm glad. Rossiana has a bit of it too because it has PBK11 in it. Ultramarine blue has texture, burnt umber, burnt sienna. The cobalt turquoise is separating nicely. The quinacridone red is like top notch. That's such a pretty like magenta pinkish red. That's like punch you in the face pink. Yeah, that's about as pink as you can get without going into opera pink. Like, without taking out the neon dyes. Like, this texture on the ultramarine blue is so pretty as well. what time is it? I have to keep this one a bit short today because I have the remains of a headache and I don't want to push my luck too much with it. Okay, it's almost 3. So the next step for me with these, like all the acrylic inks I have, even the other one. Can I show the... Do I have... Oh, I didn't test all of them. But that's some of the golden ones that I've tried. I just feel they're kind of less glowy on the paper than the Holbein ones. But yeah. What was I trying to say? Oh yeah, so the next step for me with these is to kind of not be afraid to experiment with these. Because it's easy to paint a swatch, but sometimes I get really intimidated when I'm trying to work on a painting. Like I did one test here, but I got carried away from my original intent. And I can get really intimidated with, like, the plan I have in my head. When I want to try it out, I will chicken out myself of my own plan. So that's always the difficult part, in my opinion. I know the last Patreon reward was on my desk, but I think I moved it somewhere safe. But I remember a sticker and can't recall specifics. Well, if you happen to remember somewhat, like, did you get it somewhat recently or last year? Because I think I sent out the February ones, but I forgot to like check it in my I have a like a Google sheet where I track all this stuff, but for some reason I didn't mark it as sent. So now I can't remember if I sent it, and I didn't mention it on Patreon either. So I'm just like crap. Like, I think I sent them, but I'm not sure. I've had to so far. One was a painting, and I'm sure the last one was a couple of weeks ago. Okay, if it's a couple of weeks ago, that's good. That means I sent the February one. Okay, whew. Oh, I'm a bit late. It's really difficult, Patreon, I find, because it's a really consistent routine, and I really struggle with routines in general. So sometimes my brain is really on point and sometimes it's just not, and I hate that. I'm working hard to catch up though, so I appreciate the patience. Okay, well that's super helpful, Buxapane, thank you. I really like it's more informative than what I can remember, since I don't remember anything. So do you guys have a favorite color on this chart? Let me try to fit it in well. I'm in the same boat, and every method I try works until my brain gets bored. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, same. Absolutely same. Which is so frustrating because nothing technically works. Like, I will use a planner and be super on point with my planner, and then I will wake up one morning and my brain will just totally forget that I'm using a planner, and I'll go like a week without even thinking about it. Like, I just forget I have a planner, and then I'm like, I'll be decluttering something and I will find the planner, and I was like, oh yeah, that thing. Ooh. Oh, I didn't use it all last week. Crap, you know. And it's always like that, and I hate this. I don't have a roommate, which is nice, and I have wall-to-wall window. Oh, wow. If only I had some watercolors and water brush. You need a little travel kit for when you gotta be in the hospital. Like a little pouch with water brush, a little refill water bottle, a small paint set, and a couple of small papers. I always love a carbon monoxide. Yes, me too. Yes. Barbara says same. Oh my gosh, how are we supposed to deal with that? Why are brains like that? So 2 weeks of a good routine, and then it's like I played that kids game where you put your head on a baseball bat and run around a bunch of times and then try to catch your friends. Ah, yes. I think we need to give ourselves the grace to let our brains work the way they work. Just set reminder for ourselves on the phone for things to get done. Yeah. I have extremely severe ADHD. I tried to use a planner, but I technically don't, so I just don't know why my brain just forgets stuff. Old people memory issues aren't... I know. It's really hard being old. I'm getting so old. I have the same problems with planners. It works for a few weeks and then it gets forgotten. Maybe planners are flawed to begin with. I get a planner every year, then misplace the planner. That's also a classic. It's hard to remember sometimes. It's really hard. It's so difficult. Like, I will remember, like, a random song will play in the grocery store and I'll remember every single lyrics. Even if I haven't heard that song in like 20 years. But I always lose track of time and I'm like, holy shit, that's a new month. I have Patreon stuff to do, and my brain will just like zap all that stuff. All lyrics are my superpower. I started this third one this year, and that I bought 3 years ago. 2 weeks fill in January. Yep. I have to put all my doctor's appointment on a physical calendar and my phone. Darn vortexes. Why did I walk into this room? Oh, that's always a good one. Yes, that happens a lot. I will get up. I'll be working on my computer, beep, 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 and I'll get up. And I'm like, wait, I got up for a reason. What was it? And I'm trying to, backtrack my thought process and look back at what I was doing. And I'm like, oh, I need to find it again. Sometimes I can find it, but sometimes it's just gone forever. I can recite every line of my favorite movies, but keep forgetting to file taxes. Ugh, taxes. Okay. Adulting tip. If possible, get an accountant. Just make sure all the paperwork is like, I find it easier to always put all the tax paperwork in the same sort of area, and then when it's tax seasons, I take the stash of paper and we go to the accountant and we're like, there you go, and we pay them, and it's such a blessing. I can't do the homemade taxes stuff anymore. At least it's not medieval times when we didn't have these things to try and help us. Well, if it was medieval times, I wouldn't be here. Yeah. I just, I was a severely premature kid, so I wouldn't be here if it was medieval times. So never mind a planner, but yeah. Over here, taxes are already filled in on the website. I think everywhere else in the world except for US and Canada has a better tax filing system. Oh, Ellen! Oh my gosh, hi! Happy spring to you too, hello! That costs more than to keep in order yourself. Accountants, they're not that expensive, that's the whole thing. Like, for the two of us, it costs us like $175, which is absolutely worth it, because whenever we would try to do it with TurboTax, it was so much grief and hassle, and there would always be an issue with it. and they couldn't figure out their asses from their heads. I mean, I did the same thing. I have my "this will be for taxes" pile next to it. Yep. I love diaries and journals, but I start off and then think, oh, I want to write a story, so I need a new journal just for stories. Chink. Variables. And repeat until the filing system requires a PhD. Oh wait, I forgot, Barbara. What was that in reference of? I have a drawer dedicated to receipts for taxes, and it gets emptied out. Perfect. A shoebox, a drawer, a... You would always run into issues with TurboTax. Maybe it's the local variant for Quebec and Canada, but they would always break our brains. Like it would take us the whole day to recover from the mental ordeal of trying to fix that stuff. And that's for taxes. What you need to do is get a friend who has a cottage industry doing taxes. She took me from getting about 400 to oh, that's lovely. Oh, we're both premies. Oh, I can do this. I can do this. I can catch up. Oh, you were tiny. I was 6 weeks early, I think. Like super hardcore preemie that definitely needed modern technology to survive. If I remember right, I had a jaundice, and my heart wasn't quite developed enough yet to work steadily. So they would put like a patch on my chest as a baby, and if the heart would stop, it would shock it back on. See, technology. I'm absolutely in favor of technology. I wouldn't be here otherwise. But oh my gosh, 3 months early, Barbara. You were so tiny. There's a fun story regarding the day I was born. I wasn't supposed to be born on that day. And yeah, my mom's water broke, and they were like, well, shit. They had to drive to the hospital. They were not living in a big city at the time. It was more of a village. So they had to drive for an hour to get to the nearest town where there was a hospital to, assist with the birth. And it turns out that it was the same weekend as the yearly marathon that year. So they get to the bridge, and it's blocked off. And my dad stops the car and is like, why is it blocked off? And there was a police officer that was like, well, it's the marathon. And my dad just went, my girlfriend is about to give birth, so and they had a police escort to the hospital, apparently. The guy was like, oh, okay, let's go. My dad was about 3 months early, in the early 50s. Ooh. My grandmother was Rh negative before it was easily treated. They didn't expect him to live 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, but he's still here. That's really cool. When I was born, it took 5 minutes to start crying. First sign I was an introvert. I fit in a shoebox. Oh no. And had to wear doll clothes. Oh. I was supposed to be born on St. Patrick's Day. I was born on New Year's Day. You were like, New Year, new me, pop. Yeah, I think I had a similar issue regarding diapers. Like, I think they maybe made preemie diapers because like 6 weeks is not quite as, early as 3 months. So there might have been some teeny tiny diapers for preemies back then, but yeah. I was a chunker. I joked often with my mom that I was supposed to be. Same. I think I was like 2 weeks late. Oh, you were too cozy. Your guys were like, this is nice and warm, and I was twins. What do you mean, Barbara? Holy moly. My mom often talks about how she was glad to be knocked out. I was, oh no. Both my parents were premature breech and delivered by midwives on the kitchen table. Though they were probably thankful that you were a boring birth in a way. Oh, that's really cool, Ellen. My poor tiny mom looked like she was doing limbo for months. I was born on Mother's Day. Aww. That's so cute. When I was born, it was also the week of my mom's. Heck no, we're not doing this today. And I was literally... Aww. My other grandmother was born during the Spanish flu. Oh, had to be delivered by midwives as the dog couldn't get to their farm on time. Ended up named after them. Oh, but it's such a cute name, though. It's a shame she hated it, but Mildred Myrtle, that's... I like Myrtle a lot. Speaking of memory issues and outbreak things, I remember where every single secret bomb goes in the original Legend of Zelda, but I can't do mathematics. Oh, what's a parent party, Lena? I love her name. I met a kid in the store where I worked named Millie a year ago. I asked her if her name was Mildred, and she said yes. And I told her I loved it. I think it's a really cool name, and I like that you can have Millie as a shortcut. Like as I think it's cute. A party of her parents celebrating my grandmother's birthday instead of my mother's. Like a party for... Oh, okay. Like a grown-up party with booze and... That's a bummer, though. Yeah, I was meant to have a longer name than Ev, but apparently they were unsure about it because my last name is somewhat long-ish. Not that long, but they were like, ugh. And apparently when my dad saw me, he was like, I I think she's an Ev. And I was a baby and I was like, blah, 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 blah. I'm okay with it. I just hate the French spelling with the E, with the accent. Oh, I find it so unsightly. I find it so offensive. Like, it's just so ugly. And I remember a time when they would, when they would type it out, and to fit the accent over the E had to be squished. So it was extra ugly. And I would get so bothered with it. I was like, ugh, which is why I write my name with no accents, because let's face it, if you don't speak French, you're gonna say it however you say it in your language. And if you speak French, nobody's gonna call me Eve. You know? It's kind of obvious what it is. No, it doesn't make it classy, it makes it stupid. It looks so freaking stupid. I hate it so much. It's the only thing I'm like, ugh. Whenever I see like official paperwork with my name on it and it has this stupid accent, I'm always like, oh, I want to take out the liquid paper and just erase it. It's terrible. It's so bad. It's so unnecessary. It's so pointless and it just looks like butt. Yeah, there's an accent on the E in French. They have a piece of scrap paper. For someone with so many art supplies, I never have any scrap paper around. Like, it's the one thing that I can never ever find when I need it. It's a piece of scrap paper, and oftentimes a pencil too. Yeah, but that will do. Okay, so official spelling of my name is like this. I don't know if you guys can see it. I hate it. No, not that accent, the other one. Like the accent that goes backwards like that way. That's the E sound. And if you have it like that, that's the A sound. A, not quite the same. So it's not Ave, it's Ev, technically. But nobody that sees my name written like this in French is gonna say Ev, which is technically the way it would sound, you know. Could be worse. My buddy Steve declares that he's steppin'. Oh no! No! Yeah, Otto says it correctly. Otto was really focused on trying to, say the name right. Eve. Eve is how you say it in English, because that's basically how you read it, but yeah, it's the other one. I never have a pen. I want... Oh, I know that feeling too. Like, someone asks you for a pen and you look through all your pens and you're like, no, they're all my artist pens. You don't get them. They're all really peculiar. Like, the name I recognize the most is Eve, like in French, because that's what I hear the most. When people call me Eve, there can be a bit of a delay where my brain catches up. But yeah, it's just like, when you have a typeface, like all the letters are supposed to be within this margin. So you would have a capital E that would be like that. And then you would have the E for Eve that would be like this abomination. Like shrunken down to fit. And it's just so dumb and I hate it so much. My friend Maxine Noël is a well-known native artist here in Ontario. She signs her painting with her Cree name, which is Yoyan Mani. And she was all sweet when I made the effort to learn to pronounce it properly. Princess have to turn on. Yep. Yeah, that's the I really like when people, or at least, you know, give you the benefit of the patience to just let you learn the name properly. Like, I don't mind it if someone asks me. I say my name. I'll say Ev. And if they're like, it doesn't really exist in my language, I'm like, I use whatever, but you know. Normies no touchy my art pens. The majority of people push to art. I think we're all traumatized from an instance of that happening. Like, someone asks you for a pen and you're like, well, all I have is artist pen. Okay, I'll give you that one. And they go like squish and ruin the pen. And you, for a second, you're like, what just happened? How did you not realize that? Why are you pressing so hard on the... What happened? Because of my name, my hubby got thrown into whirlpool of hot office gossip. He worked with Elaine. Oh no! I was talking about us getting married and curtain twitchers. Oh, you know, when you have a felt tip pen that's a more delicate size, like a 0.2, and someone just grabs it and writes with it and ruins the pen, and you're just like, okay, never again. Like, I'm always gonna have a cheap, shitty Bic in my pencil case just for these people. Speaking of accents, there's also so we have 3 accents in French. We have accent aigu, which is the A sound. Let's on this. We have accent grave, which is E. And we have accent circonflexe, which is the hat one. And it's basically just extra E. So yeah, that's basically the 3 accents we have if you want to write proper French. But I feel like for Eve, it's just stupid. It's just really stupid. My nieces know not to touch certain things. Most things they know they can have at. Fine liners and surviving Laurentian pencil crayons are off limits. Ah, Laurentien. We had good pencils. People also get upset when I had them 0.03 micron. Why would they get upset? That's why I never loan out my art supplies to just anyone. Oh, yeah. I mean, this brings me back to high school and college, but nowadays, I mean, all my friends draw, so they know, like, when they grab a random pen, they will always, like, take out the pen and pause to look at the pen. Like, what am I dealing with? Okay, this is a fine gel pen. That's fine. Okay, good. But, you know, some people, they just go, like, and you're like, ugh, no. Oh, the minuscule micron. Yeah, you give them that and they're gonna think the pen is not working. They're gonna be like, your pen is broken. Pring, 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 pring. And you're like, ugh. Same with books, right? So when you see someone grab a book and just like open it, crack the spine, and you're just like, what did you do? What did you do to that book? What happened? Why? Ah, my heart just gave out. I'm dead. That's basically my brain when people take books and all the Laurentian were great because they were made here. All the pencils we could grab that were made here were really nice. Some people have no concept of the different types of pens requiring different... Some people have no concepts that there are different types of pens. A warning to customers to be... Oh, that's a really good idea. There's a special place in heck for spine crackers, seriously. Otto! Otto, hi! Bear Bag going to feed the littles. Ah, babies. I know I'm gonna go give my cats a lot of hugs after. Otto, you're just in time to catch the end-ish of the stream. I did some swatches of these acrylic inks. But yeah. Our Pickle and Scott, they're sleepy. Much sleepy. Pickle was in last week's streams in the beginning. She wanted to be on camera. Oh, don't worry about it, Otto, no worries. Yeah, those are acrylic inks. Beautiful acrylic inks. My fish managed to have at least 2 babies that survived the trauma of unknown baby fish in a pond. Wait, what? What happened? Unknown baby fish? I think there's possibly only Ellen that's also Canadian in the chat. Did you get some of that ice storm that hit Montreal and surrounding areas? I think you guys in Ontario perhaps dodged it. Some degranulate, I always wondered. Well, yeah, the thing is with acrylic inks is that a lot of them will use pigments and or dyes that don't granulate on purpose. But I like the idea of having this option of permanent texture that you can layer on top of it and it's not gonna budge really. Nah, we were mostly spared. Got some good thunderstorms. Oh, dang it! I wish we had thunderstorms. I think some part of the island got a bit of a, sparks. Not electric cable sparks, just thunder sparks, but over here it was just rainy, windy, and just miserable. A Scottish tablet ice cream? Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. We got amazing northern lights a couple of weeks back. What? Yeah, that's unusual, really. Like, this is really far out for them to happen. It was amazing, especially with bits of Scottish tablet broken into it. Oh, dude. That hurts. Hey, thank you for being here, Tsukabu. I hope you have a great weekend. I can speak. I can. Happens sometimes here a couple of times a decade. That's really cool. I don't think it happens over here. Besides, I think this place is maybe a bit too bright. But we were able to get high a bit, to get a small overview of parts of the city when it was the big ice storm. And it was really interesting to see which areas had power and which had not. The kittens heard you do that raspberry and jumped. Why? Why are you guys so jumpy? Ah, kittens! Cats are the best. I love cats. Cats are amazing. And more also less in the way of light pollution. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I figured, because it's so bright here. Like at night you can see the glow from the city like in the sky, so they're sleepy. Yeah, they're kittens. They probably have two modes, like 1,000 miles an hour and sleepy. So Scottish tablets are one of those things that really make me believe that uh, like perhaps this part of Canada is a lot like Quebec is a lot like Scotland on various aspects. And the Scottish tablet slash sucre à crème is one of those things that like matches up. So far I've got that. I've got the unique vocabulary of swear words. And the even if I'm not really in favor of it for here, but the desire to separate from the rest of the country. Ben, this way. Achoo! Oh my gosh, box of paint. That's a lot of Scottish tablet. Oh, 3 pounds of it. Ouch. Your poor liver. And blood sugar. I remember recording a Stan Ridger concert where they were talking about the Scots coming to Cape Breton Island, and they landed, and well, it looked like pretty much. all the Quebec and the Pacific region, like Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, Cape Breton. I'm totally with you, Box of Paint. I think I have the similar sweet tooth. You guys have Nando's, which helps. I always see the sauces at the grocery store and I think about you, Otto. Oh, Atlantic. Yeah, whatever. Geology, geo stuff, places, and all right. I think that's my cue to finish this live stream. The ice cream shop had cakes as well. Thought we were having friends pop in, so I picked up some cakes there. Well, thank you so much for being here, Erica. They were Biscoff cakes? Oh, that sounds great. Hey, have a good rest, Mikey. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego pays off again? Well, thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you, Cleo. Thank you, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and if you have pets, give them lots of hugs from me. And yeah, see y'all next stream. They were like carrot cake, but no carrots and a lot of cinnamon. Oh, that sounds amazing. We have a new Amish bakery in the area, the donuts. Why do you torture me with donuts at the end of a stream? That's so evil. Donuts are so good. All right, guys, I'll go dream of donuts. And thank you guys for being here again. Bye. Sorry to cake dump you. Man, I'm gonna be dreaming of cake now.